Hey y'all, and happy Saturday. And I was in my studio working and I was playing around with my alcohol inks and I was working on some ideas and I thought, you know what? I bet you guys would enjoy hanging out doing a session on alcohol inks on the gel plate. And it's been around for a while, but I was actually working on some of the idea of working with text. Sort of using my stamps, and many of you have my 𝐈𝐍𝐅𝐍𝐈𝐍𝐈𝐍𝐿, so I thought, you know what, let's kind of play around with this. And I was liking what I was doing. I thought, you know what, let me just here's another. I did a colorful one, so we'll work with some colors too. But look at that, that's good. I mean, probably not for the book that we're working on, but definitely for other projects, right? So turn on the camera and inviting you into my studio. If you don't know who I am, my name is Robin McClendon. Welcome. I'm a mixed media artist, gel printer, bookmaker, bookbinder, painter. Okay, so definitely mixed media. So let's jump in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoy what you're going to be seeing, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell all. And also, for those of you who hang out and are regulars here, please hit that thumb up like button. That also helps to push algorithms out into the community, and I appreciate it. So I just put some black down. Let me put a little bit more. So using the alcohol inks, I'm using the Pinata. And kind of want to be a little generous because you'll put them down, and then what's going to happen is if it gets too thin, it'll start coming back up. You don't want it to come up just yet. So just kind of brayer it out, smooth it out. I'm going to try pulling this one on tissue paper. That was the next thing I was thinking about doing. But before we do that, I like to put texture and pattern. So I'm using this book cloth. And then I just take this ridged cardboard or anything, and it's just going to add some extra texture, which is kind of cool. And then I come back with my stamp, and let's do some stamping. As long as it's still wet, you're going to pick up a pattern. When it gets a little bit too dry, then it won't pick up anything, but right now it's at a good place. So we have that. Now, the next thing you need to do is we do need to let it dry a bit. Dry to the touch. And then what I'm going to come back and do is I'm going to pick this up with, I'm using a lot of the unbleached titanium. And I think for this one, I want to go ahead and grab my quinacridone. Since I'm going to do this on tissue, well, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do it on tissue, so let me so as long as it's dry to the touch, which is good. It's a couple of ways of doing it. We can do the direct application because this is fluid and it's pretty thin, and the black is thin and dry down there, so we shouldn't get that much mixing of color. I don't think we should really get any, but there are times where you will get the mixing. Okay, let's just get a new bottle. You will get the mixing of color. And if that's the case, you want to, I'll show you the second way to do the application, which would be to get that off, which will be to use your gel plate, a second gel plate, or any other kind of plexi or glass surface to roll it out. So I will show you that. But this is pretty fluid, so we should be okay. Not getting mixing. And we also, you don't want a lot of it, some thin layers will do it. Same as with any kind of, when we're picking anything up, we're trying to transfer, you want light coats. So I'm going to use some tissue, because I'd like to make some sort of transparent layers to work with for collaging and, this shouldn't be too wet, so we should get a pretty good pull without ripping. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's great. So, show what we have here. So you can see how it's a little shiny because it's still drying, but you see the print, and you can actually see the netting. So you see that sort of fabric. That's a good one. You see the fabric pattern, that sort of linen pattern, and then you see the text on top. So we've got a good pull on here. And so this will make great collage papers, background papers. That's kind of what I'm working on right now. That's the idea. So let's do that again, and let's use a cream, titanium, to pick it up. So let's do this. Spread it out. And really, you can use your stamps and do all kind of, make all sorts of backgrounds to match your stuff. So I'm going to use this pattern. Of course, you can change them up. You can just keep them going and repeat. Okay, that's looking good. Okay, so we'll let that dry. And while that's drying, I'll take my secondary plate right here and put the titanium on it. Now, the reason why we're doing this is because I find with lighter colors, or when you have a lot of the ink down there, it's best to use your plate as a mixing plate, which is like what you do in traditional printmaking. And so what we're doing is we're charging our brayer and getting a good surface on there without disturbing this. So when we go to put this layer down, you just kind of want to go in one direction, coat it, and what you're doing is you're locking in the image so it doesn't disturb on the surface. And then what you can do, then you can come back and kind of smooth stuff out, because at that point you don't really have to worry about it moving, the alcohol ink moving. And then you just want to kind of keep on brayering until you see it coming through. Like I can start seeing it come through there. So let me get my tissue again. You know how you can start seeing the image beneath. Then we'll lay this down. We should get a pretty good pull. Some good contact. I really do love working with these alcohol inks. And literally, you just go through your whole collection of stamps and stencils. And I just like using tissue. I just love making these backgrounds, and it becomes another way to have sort of mark making papers. Look at that. That's yummy. That's good. So here again, you know, this becomes good collage fodder to work with. Love it. And that creamy background really causes the print to jump. The other thing you can pull out that we've done in recent times is you can pull out some of your glue gun stencils. So I have a few here. And I have some of the circles. So they'll act as a mask. So we're going to put some color down first. We're going to use the circles. So when I'm working with, I have a tendency to like to work from light to dark. But the thing about alcohol inks also is that they will move whatever color you put on top, even if it's a darker color, it will move the color beneath it out of the way. So you can kind of layer on top of them. So let's put that down. And here again, I personally like to start creating patterns. I'm going to put this netting down. And I mostly use this cardboard. It does give a little extra pattern, but I just do it so I can push on this mesh because, you know, without getting stuff all on my hands. So we have one layer there. So now let's come back. These glue gun stencils are really good because they will stick nicely to the gel plate. And so it kind of holds and contains the color. And you don't have to really worry about like that, things bleeding through. And then I do have one of these Stencil Girl stencils. I love this particular one. I forget the name of it. I think it's in their Flora and Fauna. Might be Branches or something like that. And then let's put something there. Okay. So now I'm going to get some orange. Now this is where you can just kind of start putting color around. And then let's get a little pink. This is magenta. The colors are so vibrant. I love them. Now you can take your brayer and start moving it around some, which is really cool. And that way you can kind of really get it in between the masks. Okay, and let's get a little bit of forest green. You can just have your way with this. Just experiment. Like I said, if you go over some of what's down there, it will move what's beneath it to the side. And that color will take its place. And here again, I'm, always thinking in terms of sort of backgrounds. And then what we can do, we've kind of moved it around a little bit. You can come with like this pattern, and in some of those open places, you can stamp into it with another pattern. So these art foamies are really good for that. And we can get like a nice sort of integrated pattern. Let's see, I should have. This is ladder. Okay, so now we'll lift these off and let what's underneath it dry. So you really want to let this dry pretty good. Fanning it will accelerate that. because the alcohol ink does dry really fast. And you can kind of feel it to touch. Now here again, this is another one that I would definitely just ink my brayer up on a separate surface, because there's a lot of color here, and I want as little of the color to move as possible. So but I just thought it would be fun to come and hang out and do a session with you all. Probably you've done these alcohol inks on the gel plate, so maybe nothing new, but I know a lot of you have, like my art foamies, and we've done glue gun stencils, and those are things that you may not have seen how you can work with them. So now I'm going to go ahead and get some more of this titanium. Roll it out on the plate here. And you really want to charge your brayer good. Like really just get it, get it all around pretty good. And then, and see, I'm able to get a protective layer down. And so what that does is it keeps you from rolling back and forth, because you can already see how the color is, see how some of the color is starting to bleed through. So we want it not to go back and forth. So it's going to bleed through right now, but because I've locked it in, I don't have to worry about sort of spreading that color all over the plate. It'll still just stay in that space. So my background will stay pretty neutral here. Okay, so let me get a lovely tissue. Get another piece of tissue here. Put that down. Let's see what comes up. This should be a yummy one. Lots of good color. Okay. Ooh, yes, look at that. That's good. Yes. See that? That's good. So you can see when you look close, you can see like the bits of pattern throughout it, and it allows us to preserve the yellow, because where the yellow was, it was where the glue gun masks were. And yeah. Got some nice pieces there. So you want some nice, bright, colorful pieces of paper, backgrounds, to work in collaging and what have you. This is like I feel like the best way of doing it, because the color is still nice and transparent, but really good stuff. Let me go with the orange. I'm gonna do the orange. It's going to be a darker orange because I used the brayer that had some black on it, and it activated the black, which I'm good with. Like I could take something like this and put it down just to create some texture. Because we get a pattern there with that. And then I'm going to use my stencil. This, love this one. See if we can get a nice zebra pattern right in the middle. And let's get some black. I want it dramatic. I'm just going to now we can kind of roll it to kind of fill up the spaces. And here again, I'm kind of painting it in there as well, just to kind of create some different textures here. Some thick, some thin, I'm thinking. We want to let that dry. Let's see what we get. Now here again, I'm going to use the unbleached titanium, and I'm gonna roll it out on the plate. Obviously, you don't want this to move, as little as possible. Okay, so while that's continuing to dry, we'll roll it out again. When I'm done, I normally take and wash this plate when I use it like this, because obviously I don't want this amount of paint to build up on my plate. So when you're done, you can just, make sure you wash it. Okay, so once you kind of get a good layer down, you can go ahead and brayer back and forth over it. Nothing's going to move at that point. And then just, look for that thin layer that comes when we know we can transfer something pretty good. And then piece of tissue. See what we get. So yeah, just have fun with it. Just have at it, pull out your favorite stencils and your stamps, any kind of masks you may have. And use tissue paper or thin paper. You can use tracing paper. And of course, you can just use your copier paper. So that you can get some really fun backgrounds to work in your collage. This is good, yes. Oh, I love it. So you see, that's a nice one. So those circles really pop beautifully, and then that zebra stencil is absolutely yummy. So we can see using this definitely in our Sacred Mother collage. The colors are perfect. The pattern is really just a sensuous, earthy pattern. So I think I will definitely be designing with this one soon. Okay, well, that kind of gives you a nice little session. So pull out your alcohol inks if you have them. You have your, the Copic marker refills are perfect. That's alcohol ink. You can even use your alcohol ink pens if you want to kind of draw or do mark making. Of course, the Ranger alcohol inks and the Pinata. So any alcohol ink is perfect for this. And yeah, pull things out and have at it and enjoy yourself. And, you know, that was a quick 25 minutes. I can't believe that went so quickly. It's amazing. You know, when you're just in the flow of creating, right? So thanks for hanging out with me. We'll be back next week. I'm sure I'll be using this in my journal, in our book project. And please don't forget to thumb up the video. If you're new, once again, hit that bell. And we've had a great time chatting it up. And also, Teresa, who's in our premiere, she sent me these lovely, the African mud cloth. And this obi is just, it's a piece of sort of obi fabric, but look at how beautiful this pattern is. And it got me to thinking about the alcohol inks. I don't know why so when I was in the studio, because she sent this to for my birthday, so thank you, Teresa. I know you're in the premiere right now. And it had me thinking, and then that's why I pulled out the alcohol inks. One thing led to the other. Then I thought I should share it with you guys. And so you know how it goes. Anyway, love you. Have a great week. Enjoy your time in your studios. Happy creating. And until next week, from my studio to yours and from my heart to yours, much love and fun time in your studios. Take care. Bye-bye.